So having looked at the energy transition, assuming 100% transition from fossil-based to renewable energy systems, it's important to look at materials and the resources which will be required to achieve the energy transition or the phase down from fossil fuel to renewable energy systems. So in this section, we are going to have a deep dive into the key materials which will be required, the major renewable energy systems or the current materials formation. So the main report, we are going to look at materials and resource requirements for the energy transition. The link is shown here. So we're going to have a deep dive, the material and resource requirements for the energy transition. What we have here on page 9, we have the material and resource requirements for the energy transition. So to achieve a clean energy system by 2050, these are some of the key energy systems: wind, solar, power grid, green hydrogen, EVs and batteries, carbon capture, and how many times these have to increase. So, for example, wind, you have 1 terawatt, needs to increase by 15 times, and we have for the various increases numbers shown here. So, the deploying the clean energy technology will require a range of materials, and these are some of the major materials. Again, we have the color coding, so the key material needs. So the color coding, you have energy transition main driver of demand, or other sectors main driver of demand, and a mix of both. So we have, based on these colors, then on the right we have aluminum and steel, having copper, nickel, neodymium, and then you have silver, platinum. So again, showing the key materials which will be needed. And then further on to the graph showing the required scale materials demand by 2050 from 2022 all the way to 2050. And you have the various materials, the variation over time. And then again, you have a clean energy system will have manageable resources, lowering emissions. So we have the water usage annual, land usage total, and the global emissions. So in summary, we looked at the end energy usage, why energy transition, and the level of emissions from the energy system. And then we looked at the energy audits, and then we followed that with the various energy trilemma. And then we looked at the net zero energy system. And then we had 2 case studies on how to decarbonize buildings and decarbonizing transport and industry. And then we finished off looking at, to achieve the level of energy transition required, phase down of fossil-based into renewable energy system, what are the key materials and resources which will be required to achieve the energy transition. So here's the further list of references, things to think about before we go to the next lesson. Then use the energy walk around that we looked at the energy audits. Present the findings of this energy walk around to your stakeholders. What percentage of your energy consumption is contributing towards your company's greenhouse gas emissions, and the 5 fundamental technology levers to achieve the greenhouse gases. Which of these technology levers is applicable in your organization, whether for buildings, transport, or from your operations?